I'm gonna beat you into the living death.
Welcome back to Yelling About Mixed Martial Arts, the show where I yell about mixed martial arts. You know, I have watched this sport for a long time. And in that long time, I've seen many milestones, but it never ceases to amaze me how much new history is made with every event. Within the span of just over a year, we've seen Igor Severino bite Andre Lima mid-fight, we saw Jillian Robertson toss an elbow directly into the asshole of Luana Pinheiro, and at UFC 315, we saw another historic moment. Belal Muhammad was in a halfway exciting fight. Yes, Belal Muhammad, the king of WrestleFuck Mountain, took a look at both of his hands and instead of sliding them around another man's waist for a good hard cuddle, he balled those hands into fists and threw them for nearly the entirety of a 5-round title fight. What possessed him to pull this monumentally unwise stunt against Jack Della, the world may never know. This dude Belal really thought he could say, "I've got Canelo hands," and that shit would just magically appear when he started moving his arms in a punching motion. So remember the name Muhammad, forgot about the wrestling at 315, standing and trading with Jack Della Maddalena to less than desirable results. However, and call me a Belal apologist, Belalogist all you want, I didn't think his boxing was half bad. He was quick to the draw, landed consistently and in volume, and he didn't get himself knocked out. Either way, he also didn't leave with a belt on his shoulder, so this can still be chalked up to another spectacular case of when believing your own bullshit goes wrong. Perhaps you should have tested those Canelo hands out on someone who wasn't Sean Brady at any point before your first title defense, Belal. Maybe then you wouldn't have lost your belt in front of a bunch of French Canadians. Indeed, UFC 315 took place in Montreal, a city where most of the people who actually deserved to get their asses kicked were probably in the crowd and not in the cage. Among those people were the Montreal judges who committed several unarmed robberies on this card, most notably of course being against Jose Aldo in what would end up being his retirement fight. Robbed of a win after missing weight by a country mile and being denied a retirement video is certainly one way to send a legend like Aldo off to the glue factory. I guess Belal shouldn't have thought he was a boxer and Jose shouldn't have gone out and become one after his first run with the UFC. If you don't know what I'm talking about, ask this guy how the organization feels about people testing the waters elsewhere before returning to the octagon with hat in hand.
And so Jack Della Maddalena would become the welterweight champion. The world would rejoice in Belal's dethroning, as no one in the Earth realm likes or supports him. But order was not restored, because in the mythical land of goats and double champs, the lingering questions remained. What would become of Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria? Were they to fight each other? And if not that, then who? And those queries would remain unanswered for about 2 days.
So of course, during the week, Dana does the War Room announcement on Instagram to confirm that Islam is in fact moving up to welterweight and will be Jack Della's first challenger. Islam had said he wasn't going to relinquish his lightweight belt, but it looks like the organization had other plans for it, those plans being Ilia Topuria taking on Charles Oliveira for that belt. Sorry Jerry, no super fight for you. With the additional announcements of Dricus du Plessis taking on Khamzat Chimaev at middleweight and Alexandre Pantoja squaring up with Kai Kara France at flyweight, plus Merab and Sean O'Malley running it back, the majority of the men's divisions have some pretty big title fights on deck. Meanwhile at heavyweight, John Jones is doing this shit.
So, on my command here, my team has global.
Your greatest fighter of all time and current heavyweight champion for over 650 days, ladies and gentlemen. Many fans were frustrated by Jones doing the Russian version of The Ultimate Fighter opposite Nate Diaz in Thailand, but considering he'll do literally anything that isn't fighting Tom Aspinall, I guess it kinda makes sense. After all, duck is a traditional Thai delicacy. In other news, someone made the very unfortunate decision to let Raul Rosas Jr. and his gang of Mary Zoomer cholos have microphones. Guess how that turned out?
So Jimena, what are you gonna do when Drake puts the 9 inches in you? Oh wait. What the fuck?
With the open shirt and chain combo, that smooth talk, and that face, Raul is speedrunning his way to No Hose November, being every month of his life. And to that I say, keep it up, Raul. You may not become the youngest UFC champion in history, but you've certainly unlocked the cheat code to having these females saying "chee wee wee" ain't gonna be fucking. Finally this week, the already heavily tattooed Daniel Rodriguez added perhaps the most baffling piece of art to his collection imaginable, in the form of Jesus etched into the top of his head. D-Rod has always said that Jesus has his back. I just didn't realize that that manifested itself in the form of the Savior keeping a watchful eye out for incoming drone strikes. All I know is that if Rodriguez is rapping now, with the amount of tattoos that dude has, his bars are either going to be fire, or the absolute worst shit to happen to hip-hop since the birth of Tyron Woodley. For yelling about mixed martial arts, this is Thinker St. James reminding you that if you care this much about MMA, you too are a fucking moron. Now if you'll excuse me, I've got to go run my fingers through my homeboy's hair while riding bitch on a moped. Breaking news! Alex Pereira's phone has been hacked. Details are sketchy, but it seems that this nefarious hacker's MO is taking over a fighter's account, posting a single message expressing very plausible feelings that fighter may be having regarding their treatment during contract negotiations, and then vanishing without a trace. Keep your cell phones safe, people. This very real, 100% actually existing culprit is still at large. Further breaking news, the same hacker convinced Yuri Prohashka that school is more important than a title shot. There is a madman on the loose, people.
Game.